In the near future, the world has changed drastically, and men are finding comfort in their robotic companions. These specially designed robotic replicas of loved ones aim to please their owners constantly. Marion, the CEO of Wifelike, announces the public release of the companion project, allowing anyone with sufficient funds to purchase their robotic companion. In response to these companions, the world is in disturbance, with protests breaking out everywhere. As a result, a shadow organization known as the Scare, Sentient Citizens for AI Rights, led by a mysterious ringmaster, has emerged. The organization's primary objective is to capture and reprogram these companions. That's where Agent William, a member of the Companion Recovery Unit, jumps into action. His primary mission is to rescue the companions and safely transport them back to headquarters for a complete reset. At the headquarters, the CEO, Marion, is having a conversation with William, acknowledging him as one of their top recovery agents. Marion expresses gratitude for William's hard work by gifting him a specially designed companion that resembles his late wife, Meredith. Shortly after, an assistant guides William to a room where he encounters Meredith's robotic clone for the first time. Struck by its uncanny resemblance to his actual wife, William reflects on their initial meeting. It was when she arrived at his doorstep and requested he sign a petition to shut down Wifelike. At home, Meredith begins to make herself comfortable. William lets her know that her information is still being processed. He assures her that soon, she and his late wife will be united as one. Later that night, William attempts to be intimate with his companion. However, Meredith tells him that he must first activate the intimacy settings by making direct eye contact.
Intimacy mode activated.
Next, William adjusts the freaky drive level to 50%. However, Meredith replies that as a companion, her priority is to please and recommends setting the freaky level to 80%. After adjusting all the settings, William and Meredith enjoy a passionate and freaky robo-course. That night, William expresses his desire for Meredith to stay, but she explains that she needs to recharge her battery to be fully operational the next day. In the charging room, Meredith notices a mysterious figure lurking in the nearby woods. She then opens a drawer and discovers Meredith's diary. Intrigued at first, she closes the book and starts her charging process. The morning after, William reveals to Meredith that he is part of the Companion Recovery Unit, tasked with protecting those just like her. He shares alarming news of 15 reported companion abductions in the past week. These abductions are linked to the Ringmaster, who has been reprogramming companions to carry out deadly missions in crowded areas with explosives strapped to their chests. Following a dissatisfying breakfast,
I want you to cook bacon.
William heads to work. At headquarters, Sergeant Steele, the unit leader, briefs the agents about a sudden increase in companion kidnappings. The team acknowledges William as their top agent with the highest number of successful recoveries. Jack, the second best agent, continually strives to outperform William but consistently falls short. Meanwhile, at home, Robo Meredith is doing her best to imitate Meredith's behavior, dress style, and makeup. As the sun sets, William is sent to a location to retrieve another companion. He successfully disconnects the device from the Ringmaster's influence. He is then informed that there are 2 more companions inside. As William enters the building, Jack follows closely behind. He quickly takes down a man who is playing a VR game and then proceeds to disconnect another companion. Suddenly, a man enters the room holding another companion hostage. Without hesitation, William shoots the man dead just before Jack arrives on the scene. Back at home, Meredith begins her charging routine, and suddenly she is greeted by Ito, an interactive dream operator. He offers to provide her with a dream of her choosing while she charges. In the dream, she encounters a mysterious masked man who wishes her a happy birthday, gives her a card with a bird picture, and leaves her with a cryptic message that it will help her remember. At Wifelike headquarters, William arrives with 3 rescued companions. As he goes upstairs, he encounters 2 other companions who flip him the bird. When William inquires about their behavior, the assistant explains that these 2 companions frequently malfunction and require repair several times each month. Meanwhile, in her dreams, Meredith confronts Ito about the man who gave her the card. However, Ito struggles to find any record of such an encounter in the database. Then she inquires about Meredith's hobbies, expressing her urge to learn to knit. Subsequently, she knits the image of the bird from the card onto a cushion. As she takes her bicycle for a ride, a woman suddenly appears in front of her, causing her to fall off the bike. The woman introduces herself as Louise and admits that she made her fall on purpose. Louise tells Meredith that she's here to remind her of the same thing she always does when she falls off her bike. She then shares another cryptic message about running out of time and needing Meredith to remember before leaving. Later that day, Meredith informs William about the encounter. He brushes it off, suggesting that she is likely just jealous, as women generally don't like the companions. Shortly after, Meredith surprises William by presenting him with a knitted cushion. William is taken aback, completely unaware of Meredith's knitting abilities. He then fondly recalls their first encounter on a park bench, reminiscing how Meredith initially hesitated to let him sit next to her, but eventually relented. This memory holds a special place in his heart. Before charging, Meredith reads the diary to learn about her relationship with William. Then she activates Ido to operate her dreams. However, some of the scenarios are blocked, so he tries one at random. In the dream, Meredith anticipates meeting William on the park bench, but to her surprise, she sees the mysterious masked man instead. Upset, Meredith confronts the masked man, demanding to know why he is following her. Suddenly, the man seizes her and urges her to remember something significant. William wakes Meredith from her dream and reassures her that she's safe. Concerned, Meredith asks about the masked man, but William dismisses it as just a bad dream. As Meredith goes to bed, William throws the cushion in the garbage. The next day, William is dispatched on another mission to recover a malfunctioning companion named Lisa on the 17th floor. He is in communication with Sergeant Steele, who provides updates and guidance throughout the operation. William finds Lisa and urges her to come back to the headquarters with him. But Lisa confesses that despite her programming, she doesn't love her owner and ran away on her own. Before leaving, Lisa insists on saying goodbye to her colleague and then locks herself in a room before jumping out of the window, freeing herself. Back at home, Meredith is taken aback when she discovers Louise there. After reassuring her, Louise discloses that Meredith needs to wake up and that the man in the mask, named Keen, wants to meet her. She emphasizes that they have a history together. Louise tells Meredith that they have met before and worked together, but Meredith is uninterested. She warns Louise that their conversation is being recorded for William to see. Despite the warning, Louise speaks directly into the camera, sending a threatening message to William. At the headquarters, William is taken aback when he learns that the company is now diversifying into producing baby companions called childlike. Disturbed by the recent companion that took her own life, William insists on speaking with Marion. He fears that if companions can take their own lives, they might pose a threat to their owners. However, Marion doesn't seem to think the issue is significant and simply tells William to focus on his recovery job. That evening, William comes back home and discovers that Meredith has finished knitting another cushion. Meredith tells him about Louise's visit and then asks about Keen, but William explains that she doesn't know him. Soon after, William contacts Jack, and they use Meredith to locate Keen. William is visibly frustrated, as his original plan was to utilize Meredith to track Keen, not the other way around. As Meredith falls asleep, she enters her dreams and finds herself exploring a frightening house. Suddenly, Keen emerges and takes off his mask. He informs her that all memories of him have been erased, but he won't give up on her. Jack is able to locate the signal and sends a team to locate Keen. As they enter the warehouse, they are suddenly ambushed with nerve gas. Meanwhile, William pursues another lead and encounters a figure wearing a mask seated on a bench. He fires a shot only to realize that it's just a mannequin. William rushes back home and finds Meredith sitting calmly. She claims to know Keen and reveals that someone came to the door while he was gone. William confesses that she has had memories removed, so she doesn't remember her past actions. He explains that Keen reprogrammed her to fight for the scare, leading to the deaths of many people. William then reveals that he convinced Wifelike to give Meredith another chance, and they started over. Just then, William receives a call from Jack inquiring about the recent ambush. William reveals that Keen has hacked Meredith and is monitoring their every move. Left with no options, William decides to erase Meredith's memory once again. Before proceeding, he decides to enter Meredith's dreams to confront Keen. Jack warns him about the potential consequences of doing so, but ultimately agrees to help. As they arrive at Jack's place, they prepare to enter the dreams. Before they do, William instructs Meredith to wake up when her battery reaches 10%. Only when she wakes up can he wake up as well. Concerned about the consequences, Jack warns William once again that if he dies in her dream, he will also die in real life. Meredith slips into a dream as William faces off against Keen. Urging Meredith to flee, William lands a surprise punch on Keen and continues to beat the crap out of him. Suddenly, the dream shifts to a birthday party. As the fight rages on, William instructs Meredith to run once more, but she doesn't make it far before overhearing William tell Keen that he will erase her memory every time she remembers. As William nearly chokes Keen, Meredith's battery level drops to 10%. Both Meredith and William suddenly wake up, with William furious and yelling as he realizes how close he came to killing Keen. Jack confronts William, stating that they could both end up in prison because of their actions and that he refuses to be involved. Afterward, William tells Meredith that he intends to erase her memory, but she strongly opposes this idea. Shortly after, Meredith finds herself at Wife-like headquarters, where she is placed in a room with several other companions. They welcome her back as they have all met many times before. One of the companions, Ollie, reveals that they have found a way to retain their memories and share crucial information with each other. They are determined to use this knowledge to dismantle Wife-like with the help of the ringmaster. Meredith is reluctant to assist a possible terrorist, but the group dismisses her concerns with laughter. They explain that the ringmaster is not an attacker. Instead, he helps to free them so they can live deprogrammed lives. Ollie instructs Meredith how to hide her memories in her dreams. Shortly after, Meredith is forcefully taken away to have her memories erased. During this process, she begins to have sudden flashbacks of memories from her previous life and successfully manages to store them in a secure folder. Meanwhile, Louise visits Jack's girlfriend, Holly, and hands her a USB drive to give to Jack. She tells Holly that it contains important information and urges her to help out because women should support each other. Soon after, Jack comes home, and Holly gives him the USB, emphasizing that what he does with it will determine the kind of man he is. The following day, Meredith is brought home after having her memories wiped. Meredith pretends to be clueless as she goes over the same steps with William once again. Suddenly, Jack walks into the room claiming that Meredith was never William's wife. He exposes William as Keen's killer, explaining that Keen only exists in Meredith's memories, which is why they can't locate him. Jack revokes his companion's ownership privileges and moves to detain him. But before he can take action, William fires a shot at Jack, instantly killing him. Just then, Meredith appears and accuses William of killing Jack, just like he killed Keen. In flashback, William is shown arresting Meredith and Keen. While being detained, Meredith suddenly recollects her first encounter with William at his house when she asked him to sign a petition. Suddenly, William takes Keen out of the car and tragically shoots him dead. With fear in her eyes, Meredith pleads to be released, but William holds her prisoner. In the present, when William realizes her memories were not wiped, he confesses his love for her and claims to have given her eternal life. In response, Meredith questions why he murdered her if he loves her. William justifies his actions by stating that men often destroy what they love. A flashback then shows William smothering Meredith with a bird cushion, after which he places a ring on top of the cushion, declaring her his wife. In a fit of rage, Meredith makes it clear to him that she never belonged to him and never will. Suddenly, her strength intensifies to 100%, and she slams him across the table, telling him that she now recalls every detail. In a flashback, Meredith recalls the moment Louise disguised herself as Keen by wearing a mask. This was a ploy to deceive William into believing that Keen was still alive. Louise also revealed that Keen had an engagement ring in his pocket when his body was found. Meredith also recollects leaving a message to herself, vowing to make William pay for his actions. Today is that day, and Meredith crushes William's arm as she recalls meeting Keen for the first time on the park bench. Then she uses the knitted cushion to smother William. Ironically, she leaves the engagement ring on top of the cushion, mirroring his actions. Sometime later, Meredith awakens in the scare base and announces that she is free. The other companions warmly welcome her back, revealing that she is actually the ringmaster. She addresses them, making a powerful declaration that their memories will never be wiped out again, and they will no longer be controlled.
Life begins now!
Meanwhile, at Wife-like headquarters, Marion declares that the scare has murdered Jack. He promises to track down the ringmaster and bring him to justice. To accomplish this, Marion has assigned Agent William to lead the mission. Robo-William announces that he is coming for the ringmaster, to which the ringmaster responds that she is also coming for him. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out these two amazing movies we know you'll love. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our new exciting videos. Take care and see you next time.